Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder matcher on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with the blue team here in the Northwest, also known as Team Number 1, ending with the red team, also known as Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting off with the Northwestern player in the corner of the map, where we have in Amethyst Purple Legend Theo. He is a UBF for this match. He is a 1228 rating. To his south, we have in Royal Blue the Cyber player of Sains Row. He is a 1339 rating. And last but not least, for Team 1, we have a 1979 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1. And in the game overall, he is for Kotya. I think it's Kotya. I don't know how to say his name. Apologies for screwing that up. He is a Cybran as well, and again, he is the highest rated player on his team and in the game overall. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 1 UEF and 2 Cybrans, which means they lack the Aeon and lack the Seraphim faction representation. Starting off with Team 2's Northern player as well, then working southward, we have in Ruby Red the 1553 rated player of Blow Siska. He is an Aeon for this match, and he is the highest rated player on his team. To his south, we have very close ratings here between these other 2 UEF players on Team 2. We have Hannibalo in Chevy Crimson at 1498, almost a 1500, just missing those 2 extra points. Again, he is a UEF for this match. And the other UEF for Team 2 we have in Orange Tequila Orange, Broken Princess. That's very unfortunate for Broken Princess. He is a UEF, or she is a UEF for this match, at a 1488 rating, so 12 points away from a 1500. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 UEF and 1 Aeon. So Team 2 lacks Cybran and Seraphim technology. Team 1 lacks Aeon and Seraphim technologies, which means that for this game, there are no Seraphim players. Apologies to those who love to make a grand entrance but arrive late. Hopefully you will enjoy the game nonetheless. And for 6 players on the map here, let's take a look at the reclaim that we have to scoop up, currently sitting at almost 6,000 mass. So to be fair, in a 6-player game like this, that's almost 1,000 mass. Most of it in decent clumps here, most of it just due to the fact that there's just kind of a wreck or a nice little rock or whatever nearby. So nothing really too crazy going on in terms of large heaps of mass, but definitely mass worth going after. But for what the map lacks in mass in Reclaim, it makes up for it in mass points on the map. There's just an absolute metric ton of mexes in the middle of the map, where you can probably just throw a rock and you hit 4 of them essentially. But this is going to be a hard fought over middle causeway here. I mean, we're going to take this grouping right here, kind of highlighting with the little dot tool. There's 3 there, 3 there, 2 there. So there are 16 mexes right in the middle, and specifically on Team 2 side of the map, they do have, of course, a couple of tri-mex positions and a couple of dual mexers or so in the water and whatnot, and some mexes in the back line, but it is just everywhere. There is some grouping. There's another tri-mex down there, but there's not really a large grouping of mass extractors, like large groups, large number of groups, there we go, of mass extractor locations. But I mean, it's shotgun blasted everywhere, and definitely has a little bit of a sentence feel, where we have a northern pond and a southern pond in the middle causeway. One of the differences, of course, that it's not the northeast and the southwest. It is the northwest and the southeast, or sorry, southwest, excuse me, for the sentence variety. And the middle causeway is way thicker, so we're going to see a lot of land engagements fighting over all of these mass extractors. I expect just to be death and carnage, and just no sense of just frontline, cohesion. It's just going to be everything everywhere all at once, which is a very good movie, by the way. And in the north, we do see some naval facilities being established, and in the south as well. So Navy is going to be important, partly due to the fact that everything can be targeted by naval units. There is no hiding in the corner of the map, waiting to just kind of, wait out the storm. Everything is under threat, specifically from the cruiser missiles and the T3 battleships. But taking a look at the middle here, we're looking like Team 2's Pro Siska and Hannibalo charging forth against Team 1's Foucaultia and Sains Row in the north. It does look like Legend Theo has decided to get his naval facilities online, assisted by his teammate of Saints Row. And primarily going to be focusing on Navy here in the east for Pro Siska. No assistance from his teammates in that regard. But it does look like there's going to be a little bit of assistance from the player of Broken Princess with Hannibal in the south. So it looks like 2 players going for Navy in the north, 1 player going for Navy in the south for Team 1, and then the inverse is true, where there's 2 in the south for Team 2 and 1 for the north for Team 2. We do see, of course, just spamming out of the facilities here for Kortia, trying to get as many mechs as online and getting those upgrades queued and ready to go. We see a decent amount of units starting to spry around, extend their little legs, whether they're Mantis or their Aurora or Strikers, whatever the case may be. There are no Thams because there are no Seraphim in this match. Team 2 sending a little bit of more sub support down here in the south. Team 1, a little bit of subs, but we kind of see this, again, inverse effect where one side isn't producing subs, the other side is producing subs, and that side that is producing subs will have a huge advantage, obviously due to the fact that frigates can't target subs because they don't have torpedoes on board, which means Team 1 and Team 2 need to get torpedo bombers online, need to get torp launchers online, or go for T2 destroyers. Those will also work. Gun upgrades have been started here for both teams, one for Saints Row for Team 1 and Hannibal going for his for Team 2. F just kind of hanging around over here, kind of just walking back and forth for Kotia, trying to essentially size up his opponent. That upgrade, no real issue of that being canceled. He's pretty close to 50% already. There's some units nearby. There's not enough to take him on his own. And once that gun upgrade does finish, of course, it's going to be even harder to do so. In the northeast, we do see that Pro Siska getting a nice little facility online, dealing with a little bit of run-by possibilities. But again, he has units coming in all the time, so I don't really think that's going to be an issue as the game progresses. Gun has been started for Kotia as well, and that upgrade is going pretty quickly now. So 2 gun comms will be online here shortly for Team 1 and only 1 for Team 2. We'll see if that does net Team 1 a victory in the land department. But Team 2's player of Pro Siska could just go for gun right now. Probably would go for the speed and then the range, specifically in this environment. I mean, range would be a little bit better. He doesn't have to move as much. But Team 1's already had 1 gun comm online. The other one's about to finish. The one for Hannibal does finish, so definitely needs some sort of more fire rate rather than a little bit more range. Large fleet starting to emerge here for Team 2's Orange Together Orange player, a Broken Princess. He is in the rearguard air slot position, or in the corner of the map. Has not got for, and that has not gone for T2 air as of yet. I think the strategy might be just take out the Navy and trying to just take out the coastline as much as possible and then go for air. We do see in the middle of the map, things are kicking off here. Hannibal charging forth against Prokotia. Prokotia, of course, has gun as well, so it's a 1v1 gun comm. Both comms have no veterancy. Hannibal actually about to get his, which will give him a decent chunk of hit points. And looks like he's going for that T1 PD, trying to use that advanced range to deal with it before his units come into range. There's a lot of units trying to blitz him down, but now he has that 1-star veterancy. He has 16 hit points a second region versus Prokotia has 18 hit points a second region. But of course, the Cybrands lack 2,000 base whole hit points on board of their commanders versus the UEF. In the east, Saints Row going after Pro Siska. Pro Siska does not have any sort of gun, which will have a huge positive benefit here for Team 1's player of Saints Row being able to just harass him at range. Hannibal falling into the yellow, but again, he's almost there for his second vet as well. We do see a lot of support inbound from the north from Saints Row, and this is only just going to feed the Horde hand, essentially, just give more mass for Hannibal to get that second veterancy up online. See overcharges in all the time going for the units, but it might just be his undoing. We do see that it's going to just be a blitz down here for Team 1. Can they get the comm in the water? Reclaims for a brief moment. That doesn't go well. The pathfinding just freaking out here for Hannibal. He needs a nice little overcharge that will get him to that second vet. He needs to overcharge immediately. Oh, he does get an overcharge out. It's not enough, and he is going to die here. And that is a comm kill here before 10 minutes. And that was from the assistance of Saints Row. Definitely spearheaded, of course, by Forcotia, but the confirmed kill goes to Saints Row. At the same time, though, Team 1 is losing a lot of naval facilities over here, and Team 1's about to be naval locked in the south. Team 2 still pressing on the Navy as well. T2 Navy online for Legend Theo, going for, I'm assuming, destroyers. Yep, going for destroyers. And then for cruisers, he does have T2 Air online. So T2 Air, T2 Navy here for Team 1. Team 2 doesn't have any sort of T2 besides a nice little land facility that was just produced. So this is not going to bode well here for Team 2 on the land side of things or in the naval side of things if that facility stays online, or in the air facility side of things if Team 2 doesn't build their own. But Broken Princess does have another base to play with, so dual base, dual mass, dual eco, dual all the nonsense that he can get. Speed has been started for Prosiska's comm. And these two gun comms, these two Cyberns are going to continue to just pressure and pressure and pressure Team 2. Essentially, I think the idea is Team 2 is going to try to envelop Team 1 in just a naval bombardment, while Team 1's just like, we're just going to full send it and get as much damage done as possible. Essentially, carve out a hole in Team 2's eco, and Team 2 wanting to essentially just slowly nibble away at all of the extremities. But you see another facility is up in the north building, Barracudas. I think they might finish one before that facility is knocked out. That might be enough, but there are a decent amount of subs in this mix, so we'll see if that Barracuda is enough. A couple of pillars online facing off against all Team 1 units. Pillars, of course, have a lot of hit points, so those Mantis are going to favor not too well in that regard. There is the two comms nearby, so that pillar is not going to favor well here shortly, as it just gets absolutely annihilated by those two Cyberns. Advanced range has been started for Prosiska. Those upgrades going very, very quickly, I might add. Shield? No, I didn't go for shield as of yet, but does have the Aeon Sniper Commander online. Hoplites running around here also for Saints Row. Look at the pressure from Team 1's two blue players. Look at this, just constantly throwing everything forward. They might even take out this main facility here for Broken Princess. We do see the subs have reached the T2 naval headquarters here for Saints Row, and unfortunately that Barracuda, if it was built, did not do much, and I think possibly it was delayed due to the engineers either fleeing or dying or both. And that facility is not faring too well, dropping below 2,000 hit points. That facility is going to go down before that Barracuda. Oh, the Barracuda does finish. Look at that, but the facility is gone. And unfortunately here for Team 1, they are now naval locked in the northeast. They are fighting back quite heavily against Team 2's facilities. They have that destroyer now online. They have a cruiser. Actually, the destroyer just got wiped out, but the cruiser's online and the shield boat's online. A little bit more support in that regard. Team 2 trying to hold the fort against these two Cybran gun comms. Furkotia, again, still don't think I'm saying his name right, is at 3-star veterancy and about half his hit points. We do see these triads trying to keep these two gun comms back. Both of them are in the yellow, and if damage is equalized, so 1 point of damage, 1 point of damage for both comms, that could be a dangerous 1-2 combo hit here, and both these comms could go down. They might think about retreating here. They are being very aggressive. We do see that Prosiska's out. Looks like mostly a distraction, trying to pull the attention away from this base from Broken Princess. I love that strategy, because what it does is says, hey, I'm over here, come get me kind of thing, because the pressure is mounting. And it looks like it might go down here for Saints Row, though. He's going to continue to just go forward and just gets wiped out by those PD. Barely gets your range and essentially gets one-tapped. Furkotia is dropped below 1,200 hit points, gets back up to it, though. But that comm is probably on a now assassination. No, going for reclaim. They could actually kill off Furkotia, but are deciding to let him go. At least for now. He is the highest rated player in the game. It's not the... I don't know. It just depends on the situation, because if Team 2 does kill him off, it will give Legend Theo all of the mass, and that might have good or bad repercussions here for Team 2. But it is now a tied game here at 14 minutes at a 2v2. And as we see in the south, the naval facilities have been knocked out and will permanently be knocked out for the time being. We have a nice little Exodus-class destroyer online for Prosiska. I'm going to start trying to corner this facility in the north. T3 Air is almost done here for Legend Theo, so he'll have access to those strats and those ASF. Team 2 does have a T3 Air facility online as well. Broken Princess takes both of those bases and spams up that facility. T2 also online for him, going for some destroyers. Would love to see, I was going to say love to see some cruisers, and he is producing one. He is UEF. If you don't produce governor class cruisers, what are you doing with the Navy? We do see in the north, the attack is starting to mount here. Legend Theo trying to hold this position off. Most of those frigates have been dealt with by the subs. And now the subs, of course, targeting the Exodus. The Exodus trying to get a nice shot on that Valiant, but it's constantly dodging. That is the one issue sometimes with non-laser weapons, is that shot can miss. Another shot inbound. Barely doesn't kill that Valiant off. Just needs 1,100 damage. Will this be the shot? Yes, it is. Good snipe there by that Exodus. And, of course, it does have torp defense and torpedoes on board. So some T1 boats will get some damage in, but most of them will be wiped out before they are dealt with. And I don't think the subs don't have torp defense. So essentially it's all attack and no defense. In the east, though, Pro Siska under attack now. He was a distraction, and now he's going to be the recipient of some damage. Mostly, though, it's just hoplites here from Team 1. So once Pro Siska's in range, he can pretty much deal with those quite quickly. There are some rhinos in the mix, so heavy tanks, as well as a nice brick inbound here from Forkotia. So T3 land on the front line in the middle of the map. Definitely a riskier play, but it does cut down on travel time considerably. He looks like he's going for T3, maybe going for T3 possibly soon, but does have some renegades dealing with those ships from Team 2's Orange Together Orange Player or Broken Princess. But he does have some Valiant destroyers. He has a nice little governor and a bulwark, and is now kind of doing maybe a 1-1 or 2-1-1 kind of strategy, where he's doing, I think he's doing two destroyers, 1 cruiser, 1 bulwark, and then kind of repeating the process, which is definitely the good strategy. Want a lot of direct fire on naval vessels, and then some AA support, and then shields to protect all those boats. So I do like that build order here from Broken Princess. And of course, there are some gunships inbound. Unfortunately, though, an ASF has been built, takes out the first 2 and wipes out the third. There are a lot of interceptors online here for Kotia. That might be enough to blitz down a couple of ASFs. There's just so many targets that it's very hard for the ASFs to really blitz them down very quickly. And yeah, look at that. ASFs just getting wiped. We do see an attack now, once again outbound here from Kotia, now ignoring Pro Siska, going south, trying to go on the nice little beachhead here. The only issue is this environment is very annoying to deal with. You essentially have to go all the way south and then east. You can see you can get around that little hill there, but all of this is a cliff. It does funnel everything into a small environment, making a nice little kill box here, but it looks like things are shifting actually eastward, possibly going for this base once again. I don't know if that's going to be the best engagement. The comm of Pro Siska's inbound, more PD are being built all the time. Units are stacking up here as well, so it's going to make it very difficult to really punch through these defenses, and Pro Siska's only going to get more and more veterancy on board that commander, becoming beefier, and beefier. But unfortunately, Pro Siska might be outnumbered here. He does have, of course, the advanced range and speed upgrades. Probably might be looking for the shield upgrade once he's done with this battle, but is trying to overcharge as much of the brick HP as possible. More gunships inbound here from Forkotia, trying to use his advantage with air for a little bit. Over time, of course, the interceptor count is going to get depleted very quickly. Definitely need some AA. You can just park a cruiser right there, and it'll take out all of those very easily, which he might end up doing. I don't know. Oh, yep, there he goes. There goes that cruiser, moving in to deal with that. More and more bricks inbound here from Forkotia, just going north. The comm of Pro Siska in the middle of all those bricks. Not the best idea, though, because it really needs to use its range capabilities to stay out of damage, weapons range of those bricks. But it should be fine, though. He'll probably drop into the red, but not terribly bad. He does have some PD to fall back to from his teammate, but he's being attacked as well for some bricks in the west, so he's really just being kind of pulled apart constantly. Attacks here, attacks there, really just trying to distract. Team 1 has the land advantage. Team 2 has the water advantage, and might actually have an entire lockout for Team 1 in the naval department. T2 land. Wow, T2 naval facility, if I can read and speak correctly, under threat. Valiant class right off the production line. Unfortunately, that facility is DED. It is gone. So Team 1 loses access to T2 Navy in the north. And that might just completely naval lock Team 1. Naval bombardment has been started here in the south with some Valiants and some cruisers. We could try to see some attempt to go for that T3 T3 land headquarters with some of those cruiser missiles. I mean, it'd be a perfect target. It's in the middle, definitely within range of those cruisers. Maybe it's just going to be one of those kind of slow approach kind of scenarios. Gunships inbound, going for the T2 land facility here for Pro Siska. It does have some flags nearby, but the bricks are going to blitz it down. So Forcotia is going to lose access to land in the T2 department for now. And his base is not feeling well in the eco department at 20 plus minutes. Team 1, 420 mass income for Team 1. Team 2 at 280 or so. So about 140 plus mass for Team 1 is a huge chunk. Obviously primarily driven by the fact of, well, not only does Team 1 have map control in terms of the land department, but Team 1 has also killed a lot of mexes for Team 2. So that difference used to be a lot less. Unfortunately, here for now, Team 2 is suffering quite greatly in that department. The only benefit, of course, here for Team 2, though, is that Broken Princess. I want to say Broken Promises for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe very similar words or structure anyway. Anyway, 250 mass per second, T3 air facility, T3 land facility, producing some Perseus. Of course, naval locked to the south, and the Navy is not looking too great here in the north. I think Legend Theo might just have to cut his losses and just go straight into air. That might be the better way to play it. Team 1's already been raiding Team 2 quite heavily by gunship, so Team 2 is going to have to try to go to air to deal with that. Lots of AA being built, T2 and T3 variety, so that might be the time to strike. Get a couple of strap bombers, take out the T3 air facility, take out the air grid on top of that, and might, airlock Team 2 essentially while the Navy's being naval locked. We do see those destroyers now going after the new T2 naval headquarters now built here for Legend Theo. We are seeing some torp bombers inbound from him to try to deal with these destroyers. We do see some frigates going after all the build power to slow down the production of new destroyers, and there's just more and more units being thrown at this all the time. Team 2's player, of course, Brosiska, doesn't really have the mass to really fund any more vessels, so he's kind of just stuck with whatever he's got. So that might just be the play here from Theo, is just stay alive in Navy as long as possible and then just punch back. But it's going to take a while to build up a nice fighting force, and that might be enough time for Brosiska to recover. The pressure is really going to be on Team 1's Forcotia's shoulders. If he loses land, there's nothing between essentially the main facilities in the middle and, well, his base over here is gone. He has a lot of pigeons up here. That will be the next target. And then he has a base up here that's now being bombarded by cruisers as well. So essentially, once the land falls, it's not going to be a good day here for Team 1. Naval units are not going to have a good day as well in the north. Squadrons of bombers are inbound for that facility. There's no cruisers online, which means there's really no way to defend against air. And it looks like they're going for the T1 land facility. T1 air T1 naval facility. Did he just target the wrong one? It could have just been he targeted the wrong one. There he goes. Okay, he's targeting the right one now. I'm like, what is he doing? But he has enough. It's not going to be an issue. Some of those actually get wiped out by the torpedoes hitting those engineers. Facility. A couple more volleys will be enough. T1 AA isn't going to be enough to cover that naval facility, though. There it goes. Team 2 loses T2 Navy, and ASFs are inbound a little too late to deal with that incoming threat. But look at this carving of this western beach here for Team 1. I mean, multiple mechs is taken offline. This base gone. Of course, the pigeons are still here, which is nice because Forcotia, I mean, he desperately needs that to stay alive. T3 might be a nice endeavor to go for. Artillery, for some reason, not turning around. I don't know why. They're definitely in range. I don't know what that's about. It looks like some of them are turning around now, actually, but for some reason they were all faced the other way. They didn't just auto-target a unit, which is very strange. We have some torp bombers inbound to the west to deal with this, but for now, I mean, if the shields go down, the pigeons are going to die, and then that's not going to be a good day, especially because he's really pumping out T3 units, both in AA and brick department here in the middle. And Team 2 now in reestablishing a defensive line. Some Ravagers coming online. Lots of engineers to get reclaim. Looks like the attack is inbound shortly here from Forcotia. He needs to keep the pressure mounted because if he laxes, Team 2 will build a bunch of Percys, and that's going to really rip apart those bricks. Those Ravagers can only do so much, unfortunately. And it's not going to be a good day for those engineers if they can't get out of dodge. There are some Percys inbound as we speak. Would love to see some Harbingers inbound, but of course that's going to be a while. Prosiska actually just control Ks. I don't know what that's about. No conversations and chat about it, so it might just be possible I'm kind of done with the game. Maybe had a connection issue. Whatever the case may be, it is now a lone broken princess versus the likes of a Cybran and a UEF from Team 1, that being Forcotia and Legend Theo respectively. Most of that artillery battery is down, but they are now firing on those naval units. They will slowly whittle away all of those forces. We are seeing a lot of moles running around just for some target distractions. The Valiants aren't really focusing their fire on the pigeons, which should be the focus in my opinion, but not trying to armchair or anything. Bricks down here in the south trying to go around using the water to their advantage to avoid some shots from the Percys. Facilities going offline. T3 battleship online. Big boat, small pond, or slightly bigger small pond. Love to see that. Will you produce the Neptune? I mean, I get it why he went for the battleship because of the range, but that Neptune would be huge. But look at that. Just wipe out a couple of bricks and a couple of volleys. And those bricks are doing a number on that battleship, though. Battleship's still waiting to fire again. But we have some broadswords inbound to deal with the rest of those bricks. Hydrocarbon going down. A couple of mexes went down, but the mass gained from killing off the bricks is definitely worth more than the mass lost from the mexes. We do see ASFs inbound to go for those gunships. Unfortunately, they flew through a lot of AA coverage, so some gunships will go down, but those ASFs will not have a good day. We do see that attack was mainly a distraction. Another force inbound. Essentially, Team 2, they're going to be taxed with the APM. It's going to just be how long can Team 2's Broken Princess handle 2 comms unless he takes one of them out. His detachment of naval units to the north has been whittled down quite significantly. The AA coverage is severely lacking. There is a couple of shields that went down, but the pigeons are fine. So Forcotia will have enough power to pump out more and more land units. We do see those brick forces going once again, cutting off the northeastern section. That's kind of already devoid of mostly anything anyways, because these units inbound from Legend Theo have dealt with most of those structures anyways. We do see Percys moving into intercept. There's still more mexes that are going to go down here. Team 2 is just bleeding mass at this point. 450 versus 270. Not really a lot of gains for either team, but not really a lot of gains for Team 2. I guess I was premature on right side naval loss. Yeah, I mean, with that attack down the, essentially the middle here, taking out the eco for Prosiska, once those naval units were gone, that was it. There's really no coming back from that unless he had a lot of time, which he didn't. So kind of just unfortunate there in that regard. Cruisers now focusing the facility here in the middle. The T3 land headquarters has been taken out. Missiles being redirected. Love to see that from the Loyalists. But there's so many missiles inbound, it might not make a difference. Battleship, of course, not going to help things. Another battleship, not going to help things. ASF fight in the middle. Tied, question mark? Not really any advantage one way or the other. Maybe a little bit for Team 1, but barely. We do see, of course, a couple units on the shoreline over here, mimicking what Team 2 did earlier on. Lots of those moles just, again, being annoying distractions, but the gunship snipe goes for the comm of Forcotia, and it is now a 1v1. It is Legend Theo for Team 1 and Broken Princess for Team 2. They are both UEF, and they are both the lowest rated players on their teams. T3 air facility being targeted here. Maybe they'll get it. Probably should go for the pigeons, but trying to deny at least an air facility. Team 1 has a backup in the ASF department for the UEF side of things, but at least they're knocking out a facility, which is, yeah, it's something. I don't know where that missile was going. Looks like there was just a spy plane hanging out. Oh, you're just wrecking that, well, wreck, and the wreck's gone now. But look at this. Look at just the devoid of the orange here for Team 2. The entire eastern side over here is gone. Team 1, look at all this purple. Yeah, a lot of it is moles, but that's still units you can deploy. The cruisers and the battleships are the main threat, though, for the middle. This is the main T3 facilities here for Team 1. And, oh, okay, that battleship should probably move a little bit because it can't fire because it looks like it's actually hitting the cliff here. But facilities are going down. Mexes are going down. Is there a radar system like better than Team 1? No, but look at this. Team 1's player of Theo, or I should just say Theo, is building facilities in front of Team 2's base. Unfortunately, though, that's AA, not PD. And there are Percy's inbound. And yeah, that's not great for those facilities. Where you see those Percy's are just going to steamroll to everything over there. Units stacking up here in the east. And it might just turn into a TMD war where how long can you survive the cruiser missile spam from the other side, especially over here. Because those cruisers over here to the west could easily target that air grid, so both these players have to be very cautious of that. Another battleship being built, more ASF being built. 31 minutes on the clock here. What's going on here in the main base? Fat Boy, interesting choice here for Team 1's Theo. Wanting to go for more indirect fire. Looks like cruiser missiles landing at the T3 land headquarters and are going to take that out. So taking out the air and the land facilities for Team 1. Obviously, due to the fact that Team 1's deploying a lot of bricks, that's very, very useful to take out. They can't produce any more, at least more in the queue. And that's going to hurt. Ooh, is it going to be enough? A couple more missiles. And there it goes. No more bricks here for Team 1 for the time being. More missiles inbound going for the other facilities constantly. They're trying to just repair them as fast as possible, but all this mass being spent to repair instead of build units, it eats up the eco. You can see it's 420 now for Team 1 and 260. So the number for Team 2 hasn't really changed, but Team 1 has dropped, which means that difference is shortening or narrowing. Maybe it's narrowing instead of shortening. I guess it's the same word, but roughly the same word. Another T3 facility has gone. All of these engineers don't have a job now. They have to go find more jobs. Looks like they're going up here, of course, just bands of these torp bombers inbound to take out cruiser after cruiser after cruiser. But there's only so much that those torpedoes can do because Team 2's Broken Princess is pumping out cruisers as well. We're seeing, I think it's more of like a battleship cruiser maybe. Looks like he's changing up his build order here shortly. Just produce an ace, because why not? Looks like he's going for T2 and probably T3 engineering suite. Give him some more additional hit points and some engineering power. Yep, T3. 9 seconds to do the T2 upgrade. And everything's kind of quieted down for the most part. Just bombardment here from these battleships. There's 3 of them here. Team 1 not going for T3, just sticking with T2. Probably just going to do cruiser spam, which it looks like he's slowly doing, and he's inching them further and further eastward. Needs to get some TMD online here in this base, or it's not going to last very much longer. Looks like, you know what he's up to. Gunships over here. Group of gunships that killed off Rakotia. And it's starting to be devoid in the middle. Team 1 losing some eco. Team 2 dropping quite significantly, but it looks like that's power related because he's starting RAS. Oh, he is far below what he needs for that. But he's getting it pretty quickly, though. So once he's dealt with that, his eco will go back to normal. And we'll just watch it go back to normal right there. Look at that. Back up to 300. So was it worth the investment? yes, gives him some additional power reserve just in case. Don't know what he's going to do next with his comdo. Maybe he'll go for billion nuke. It's possible, but we'll see what he decides. Needs to get some TMD, like I said, in this base. Those cruisers are inbound. He needs to move him over here. Team 1, of course, going for a lot of air, both for gunships and T2 bombers, as well as, of course, ASF. Fat Boy online. Is he building another one? He's building a satellite, so now it's going to turn into long-range weaponry. Long range being air quotes, of course. And it's still sort of long range. It's long-range remote firepower. And I'm going to speed things up a little bit because it's kind of died down a lot. Again, still cruiser missile spam over here going after the T3 land headquarters. That thing is going to go down unless some Team D get built. Building them behind the facility isn't really going to help, but it'll protect the other ones at least. Oh, they've changed target priorities onto that other facility, so you can see they try to fire. They might kill a missile, but buskills are not great. They need to put it like right in front of it, essentially. Yeah, you can see they're not quick enough to respond. There's so many missiles outbound. It just doesn't really matter at that point. Looks like the battleship's starting to shift to the western edge over here. We have more and more cruisers stacking up. T3 naval headquarters has been built and battleships have been started. We have some gunships down the middle with some ASFs and Fat Boy support. Team 2's base over here for Broken Princess is not feeling good. He did keep his T3 land facility online and now getting another row of TMD. I'd love to see additional rows of that just to deal with all the spam. We have some Perseus that try to get close to those cruisers, but they back up in time. It's a good micro there here from Theo. More power reserves here for Broken Princess. He stopped production of naval units. Looks like he's satisfied with that. He has, again, battleships over here. Would like to see him send essentially all of them over here, just so that he can punch through the shielding on Theo's base. He does have not that much power plus, so if he loses a couple of T2 pigeons, that's not going to feel good. Oh man, just facilities being wiped out. Engineers not feeling good. Of course, the TMD doing what it can. There's only one cruiser, so it's not a big issue, but the battleships are the bigger issue, of course. Gunships wiped out here by the ASFs from Team 2. Team 1's ASFs and Team 2's entangle. It looks like it might be favoring Team 2 ever so slightly. Oh, yep, there it goes. Team 1 loses the air battle. Gunship does survive somehow. But there is that Fat Boy. Fat Boy like, oh no, the Perseus are nearby. I need to back up. And unfortunately for that Fat Boy, they did not move in time. And now we see Perseus and Bricks being added to the mix here for Team 1. Primarily probably due to the fact he's lost his T3 Cyber facility. Wow, I'm an idiot, says Theo. No, I wouldn't say he's an idiot. He was just focused on other things and forgot that his Fat Boy was there. So I wouldn't say he's an idiot. But Team 2 did lose the land facility. Does have a backup down here, so good to see that. Omni online. Lots of engineer support for supporting factories. Satellite being built by Broken Princess, so now we have a satellite war potentially. This one has just been completed. I should be able to win this, but I don't think I can. Feeling the FAF head. No, it's Subcom Brain, not FAF head. It's Subcom Brain. No, not same thing. No. And a couple of those facilities not going to feel good. Power reserves now a little bit better here for Theo, so if he loses the T2s, it's not a huge issue. He has another T3 cyber facility back here, or up there, I should say. There's a backup one over there, so love to see those backups. No more than, I'd say, one, maybe two of the map is big enough. But I've seen, we've seen some games where somebody builds 8 headquarters. I'm like, you don't need that many. You need maybe 3. 2, 1 at a minimum, of course. 2 is nice to have. 3 is just fine, and then 4 or more is just overkill. Lots of Team D being built, keeping out the cruisers from Theo. Essentially just draw a line in the sand, quite literally, and hold for dear life. Man, what a buzzkill, right? There's so many of those things. So many cruisers online. And they don't stop firing. Those things are infinitely producing those missiles, and the buzzkills are infinitely producing machine gun bullets for dealing with those cruiser missiles. But now it's going to just start turning into a long-range war at some point if the satellite spread does continue. We see second one has been started for Theo. The first one here is almost done for Broken Princess. Needs to get a shield around that just in case, or over it, I should say. And that satellite is inbound here shortly. Needs to get a shield as well for his air grid to protect his power reserves. That's definitely something that Theo has, is he has some coverage. It isn't complete, but it's enough to at least cover some of the PGens. He's lost the cyber facility down here. Eco's Team 2 in the lead now, 530 versus 350 or 360. The Omni would be a good target. Oh, never mind, it's gone anyway. And that satellite inbound. The shields built very quickly here by Team 2's Broken Princess to deal with that satellite's inbound threat. And yes, it is going to target the PGens. Looks like there's going to be another shield to try to protect the T3 naval headquarters down here. At least try to shield it the best you can. There's a Omni up there. Not the best location for that, but again, it's on an upper plateau, so land units can't really get to it. So I do like that, but cruisers and missiles and whatnot. Attack down the middle here from Team 2's Broken Princess, continuing to charge. Lots of Perseus in the mix. Wish they were a little bit more clumped together, but they are inbound nonetheless. A flotilla, battle group, whatever small force of naval units, up some battleships and a couple of other supports, moving in to target these Perseus on land, but it looks like the Perseus will win that fight. Satellite now crossing the map. It's going to be a satellite v satellite war. And no, the shield does not cover it, unfortunately. But Broken Princess looks like he's fine, trying to build more shield coverage, but that satellite says, no more shields for you. And he does build a couple more T3s over here. Is he going to build another satellite? I don't know. It's kind of hard to build satellite under constant bombardment like he is right now. Another satellite, of course, is half done here for Legend Theo. And it's just going to be a wiping of the board over here to the north. It's pretty much a game of how long can one player last against the other. Both players essentially doing the exact same strategy. Team 2 started on it a while ago, but Team 1 is making up for lost time by spamming up cruiser missiles. Look at this. Just the TMD cannot do anything fast enough. That's why I don't like the Buzzkill as much, because it's just very slow to react. The Volcano at least has, able to grab multiple missiles at the same time. T3 Mex is going to be taken offline. They're not even ringed. They're just there hanging out. It was a good snipe. I'm done, though. Yeah, so Theo making the comment that it was out of shield cover. Team 2 didn't have shield coverage, but now he does. And it maybe look like Legend's going to throw in the tag. We'll see if he does or not. I don't think it's warranted yet. One PGen is down, though. His second satellite is almost done. All he has to do is keep the rest of his PGens online and keep the shields somewhat online once in a while, and it should be fine. Looks like the artillery from those battleships can not hit the satellites. Unfortunately, the satellite overhead can hit the satellite on the ground. Shield emitter is down. Great target there from Broken Princess. And I think Team 1's mistake was not going for more shield coverage when he could have. And the shield coverage here for Broken Princess is being spammed out. Now he's going for his second and third satellite. Looks like he has to just spend mass at this point. Oh, yeah, his mass bar is almost filled. I got to spend that mass. But look at this. The missiles are inbound, and they're going after those shields. Again, like I said, it's just a matter of time of how long can you last. Oh, the satellite station looks like it's going to go down. I'm going to split things up to get a nice little view on it. There are Perseus down the middle, though. That's not going to help things. Cruisers break through the shielding. They go after those satellites. Satellite is now done. Shield gets back online, though. And that artillery is still pumping shots into the base. Oh, that one was... Is that one... That one's not done yet. It's almost done. Fusion's being rebuilt to cover, of course, the energy cost, but the gunships come in, wipe out the rest. Did the satellite die? Mine didn't, says Broken Princess. No, it almost did, though. 1200. That one's almost going to die. It looks like that... Well, that's weird, because the icon isn't there. Yeah, but it does... Weird. It looks like it's done, but I don't think it is, which is weird. It must just be like 99% or something. Shields starting to hold once again. Team D coming back online to fix that. Oh, that was very, very close. Look at the damage, though. Just the middle of the map is devoid of everything. At this point, it's so easy to get in your own head. Didn't expect to lose my T3 land headquarters. Yeah, it definitely is one of those things played bad. Ever seen that? I guess you killed the satellite as it launched. Yeah, that can happen, and there goes Legend Theo. He's killed off by Team 2's gunships. So yeah, the satellite can be destroyed. It can also be rebuilt, of course. There was that one video I did where somebody was able to position a satellite over top a YOLO. So when the YOLO fired its nuke, it actually impacted the satellite and killed it. I don't know if they patched that out or not. I would assume they did, but you never know. Anyway, that is the game, folks, here. 49 minutes and 11 seconds. And Broken Princess wins the game. That's the right button I'm looking for. Obviously, MVP did a very good job with what he had at the time and just kept going. Again, UEF mirror match essentially did the exact same strategy for both. The only issue was not only did Broken Princess follow it up with cruisers and some strats, but some battleships over here, which weren't there, or they weren't as close as they probably could have been. The ones for Legend Theo, I mean, they probably could have moved. Had they been positioned here, they might have been able to actually take out one of those satellites or two. That was definitely a mistake there. Could have shifted them a little bit south. Yeah, it is a tight-knit environment, but it's just one of those things where would it have mattered? Yes, because just look at how close it was. But it is hard to kind of navigate through that ball of units. But not only did Broken Princess, essentially they both did the same strategy, but he followed it up with a land invasion that took out a lot of the mass in the middle. He followed up with some gunships and just went for the kill, taking out Team 1's Theo. But let me know down in the comments what your favorite moment of the video was, who MVP for you in your mind is. Both players at the end did very, very well. I just think Team 2's did a little bit more, which is what netted them the victory again. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one.